Welcome to the official podcast of the National Pickleball League, where we go inside the NPL. Welcome to Everything in the Kitchen Dink, which is the official National Pickleball League's podcast, where we go inside the NPL. My name is Michael Hammer Mike Chen, and I'm with my co-host, Chen Bone Crusher Gallwas, David, the Professor George, and my co-founder, Rick Ripskin Witsken. Welcome, y'all. Well, this is an exciting podcast we're going to have. We just finished our first weekend at the National Pickleball League in Chicago. What a weekend it was. 12 teams battling it out for the first week's prize money of $10,000. We're going to have an overall prize money of $150,000, but $10,000 went to the winner of the first week. And we'll bring him on later, and we'll tell you who he is later. But we were at the Pickle House in Algonquin, Illinois. What a weekend. I just want to open up to David, Jen, and Rick. What'd you think, right? We could have had a better week to start our season. Could we? David.
Well, I guess.
Go ahead, David. You go first.
I said it's
Jen.
my hometown. We'll keep you in suspense to see who won until the end. But the first time the NPL has been in Chicagoland. So for me, it was really awesome to have my kids, my mom, so many friends, patients come drive, it's an hour from my hometown, but to make it out there, not just to watch me, but to experience pickleball at that 50 plus level, at that level, because they all play pickleball and love it. So it was really fun to have it in my hometown and to share with so many of my friends.
And I have one question for you. Did you crush anybody? You bum crush? Did you nail it?
I didn't hit anybody this weekend. Bags? No.
Wow. Did you win any matches then, if you didn't hit anybody?
5-3.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I'll take 5-3. Should have been 6.
He wasn't asking about you individually. This is a team sport.
No, he said, did you win your matches?
He meant you as a team. So, yes, you went 5-3. Good job. Yes, you played well. Tell us, Jen, how did your team do this weekend?
Awesome. They're a great team. Fun team.
Tell us your team. What's your team?
Austin McKnight.
Okay.
So how'd you guys end up over the weekend? What was your record?
We did great. We did really great. So we've got the legendary Chris Cargis. She's awesome. And Leslie Bernard and Dave Weinbach. But we also have new people like Tanya Davis and Carolyn Weed, who's like hilarious on social media. Chris Wilton. It was so fun. So many. Michael Brazil. Great team. I love my team. Very happy to share.
If you can't tell, Mike, Rick, everyone, Jeff who's waiting, 0-4. 0-4.
Hey, it's early this season. I'm going to keep quiet. Like, look, at the end of the day, any team can win this. So let's go to you, David.
We're going to build.
David, you're my partner, and I'll say my leader of my team. David's the leader of the Kansas City Stingers, Pod 1 top player for the Kansas City Stingers. And we went 2-2, not bad, right? But we have room for improvement. But what do you think about the first weekend, David?
I'm still in shock. I thought the new improved Mike, the nice hammer, was just last week's. Now it's continued to this week. I remember in the preseason, all you did was bemoan the fact that Rick wasn't on our team because we had no top players to play and lead us on and off the court. So thank you for that, Michael, very much. No, I love Kansas City. I love Daryl and Julie. I love the people I play with. I loved watching everyone. I mean, it was kind of a love fest. So I'm kind of waiting for any behind the scenes drama that I wasn't privy to, but I really, really enjoyed it. I love Pickle House. I know those people. It's not quite my hometown like Jen, but it is kind of a home away from home. My in-laws were in attendance and also lived there. My mother-in-law actually was watching our 3-set battle with Rick Witsken. That just was really cool and close. And she was kind of obnoxious, so I didn't really claim her. I hope Rick didn't know that was my mother-in-law. But it was just an overall fun weekend.
And we had some players that we saw in the Kansas City Stingers, right, that were really great players we never seen before. Paul Samala, right, was an awesome player. We saw Yana, we know her, but she was a fighter too, incredible, right? We had obviously the Pod 1 players you played with, Jen Dawson and Kim Kesner and Saad, the Cyclone Ipses. Like, we had a strong first team, Chris Kessler. I mean, I could keep on naming, right, the rest of our team. Like, we had an outstanding team, I think. And
I didn't know many of the players, but we met them on Friday at our practices, And Daryl's coming. Like he has all the shots.
Yeah.
So on the court, like he has all the skills, just gonna figure out a few things, and he's really gonna be tough by the end of the year.
I actually got to shout out to Net Game. My friends just opened a club and we got to practice there on Friday. And I played with Daryl just for some fun games. And he's left-handed and great. It was a lot of fun. And he's loving it. So to have an owner that's that great a player is such a plus.
No, that's great. Well, we'll come back to that. I want to go to Rick because I have to go to Rick with his shirt. I got to give him kudos. You know, grew up in New York. You know, my Rangers are still in the hockey playoffs, but for basketball, congratulations to Indiana Pacers. And Rick, you also are playing for the second year in a row for your hometown, Indianapolis, Indy Drivers. What was your experience? You know, you were there. You were a co-founder last year with me. Last year when we had opening weekend, and compare your experience opening weekend with the Indiana Drivers last year versus playing the Indy Drivers the second year as kind of, again, the leader, one of the leaders of the team. What are your thoughts this weekend?
First, let me share a moment with my Indiana Pacers. I've been a Pacers fan since I was 7 years old. They play tonight, Eastern Conference, Game 1. Hasn't happened in 20 years. If you didn't know this, folks, they had the highest field goal percentage in the history of the NBA in Madison Square Garden, and Michael Chen, CO Paul Bamundo.
I think this is a pickleball podcast. Right.
Okay, but I just want to really proud Pacer fan. I know Reggie Miller played ping pong against him. He's a big tennis pickleball fan. Like, let's go.
He's not listening to this podcast, I don't think, but maybe
he might,
he is.
Michael.
Okay.
He might.
All right.
You never know.
So in regards to opening weekend, I'm really, really proud of the way the weekend evolved. I knew the owner of the Pickle House, Jeff Van Dixhorn, known him for a while. Staff did a really good job. You know, I really think the players and all the feedback I got was sensational. I'm really proud of the owners. The owners really did a nice job, and the GMs of cultivating the total team experience. And, you know, just kudos to them. As far as my Indy Drivers, this was a very different experience in weekend one for me versus last year. And what I mean by that is I really didn't know a number of the players and how they'd play. And I certainly didn't know the chemistry that could evolve. Whereas last year, you know, I had picked almost the whole team and I knew those players very well. And it was a little easier from the very get-go to know positionings, mixed doubles, men's doubles, women's doubles. But I tell you what, even though we had the forecasts about all the teams and their projections for 2024, I have a more of a bright outlook for the Indy team for a number of reasons. And I don't want to talk about my team too long, but I will tell you that, you know, Gina Salento, hometown girl in Chicago, it's really great to play mixed doubles with. I really enjoy her. What a leader she is. You know, and when we got, we obviously didn't have Mills the first couple matches, but he and I had an epic match against Columbus. I was really proud of him because he and I had not played much together. And it's clear as a number one team, we will be playing some together. And I think I'll enjoy that. And we'll be formidable against any number one team. So I'm excited about that. But boy, down the line, and with the leadership of Matt and Kim Troyer, and I'm just really, really happy with the trajectory. And I kept reminding my team that this will be a marathon, not a sprint. While we went 1-3, we did win the last match. And I think it would be a caution for right now, every team, when you play drivers, don't overlook us, because we will be highly competitive. And to go 5-7 against Columbus and almost go into team breaker that close, that says something. So I'm super proud of the Indy Drivers.
No, that's great. And like I said, there was Kansas City, we finished 2-2, but there's 6 teams that finished above us. I'd like to give a quick shout out to the 6 teams that actually had strong winning records first week. Denver came in at 3-1. I don't think any of us really predicted Denver to win this league, and they did 3-1. They were 3-0 going to a Sunday afternoon. big shout out for Danny Werfel. I saw him coaching hard and well, and you're shaking your head, but they went 3-1, which is, I thought was pretty impressive.
I predicted it, Michael.
Oh, did you? Okay. You're right. You might have predicted. Yeah,
I mean, Rick did predict like 8 teams.
8 teams,
so I guess
right.
I think he did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he did.
He picked 8 teams. So they were one of the 8 teams you picked, but
I may or may not have helped draft that team. Just saying.
But shout out to the owners, obviously, Chris and Mario, as well as Scott Fliegelman there. And I saw Danny Werfel there as well. And, I think they have a lot of talented players on that team as well. So one to watch, but not one that I was watching as closely, but we'll be watching them close in the future. Coachella Valley, I expect them to do well, and they did well. 3-1, right, as well. He came in 5th. That's Kim Jade's team, and she's got a lot of heavy hitters on there, and they had probably the best match of the weekend. If you guys saw on center court, right? I think they played Seattle in the final match to clinch it against Seattle. Dane Gingrich was playing Kim against Stefan Andren, and I think it was who was she playing with? It was a really new women. There's really a top women on their team. I'll get the name before the end of the podcast,
Chris?
but no, but I'll get the name anyway. But they had a great match. I think it went 11-9 in the third set. It's one that I'm going to watch over and over again, and it was an incredible match. So shout out to Coachella Valley at 5. Boca came in 4th, another strong team, right? They were 3-1. No surprises there. And then number 3 was Seattle, who they didn't lose to Coachella Valley, who had gone 4-0. They were 3-1 as well. And then our 2 undefeated teams that tied, it was Columbus Hotshots and Houston Hammers. Any surprises there, guys?
Yeah, in my mind, Houston was actually the biggest surprise. All those other teams you mentioned, we did mention on the podcast as being very strong contenders. As much credit as I'm going to take for picking Columbus multiple times on this podcast, I have to my detriment, I did not think Houston on paper looked that strong, but boy, was I wrong. They were extremely impressive.
Any surprises, Jen, from your point of view?
Not surprised, but I want to say one more thing about my team because I didn't take as much time as those 2 boys. I didn't mention my 2 partners. I played with Tina Lum and Lance Cowart. I've played against Lance Cowart before, but never with them. Such fun, awesome partners. We did well, and so I just wanted to give them a shout out.
Do you want to say hi to your mom and dad and your
no? But we tied
well?
Boca. Okay, we tied them. So even though we didn't beat them, we took them to a tiebreaker. So we came closer than any of you 2 against Boca.
By the way, I remember who was playing Stefan's. Cara Beth Lee.
Yeah, Beth Lee. I thought so.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, she played amazing. I've never seen her play before. I'm like, wow, she's playing pod 1, and going head to head with the 2 of the top players. And I think she told me afterwards, first time she played against Dane, and she was very happy to have hung in there. Obviously, that she would want to win, but that was an incredible match. And everyone should watch our YouTube. We streamed all the courts, all 12 courts. But we live streamed and we had announced a broadcast on center court. And that was on center court. So for everyone that wants to watch our matches, if you missed it, go to our NPLpickleball.com and our YouTube channel, and you can watch any of the matches over again. But that was a really good match to watch.
Well, you mentioned surprises. We did lose our second. We lost John Sperling early on. John Hostetler stepped up. Yeah. He had a big win against Dane with Weinbach. Yeah. So that's a huge win. So, he's playing different pot. That was
another good one. Rick, what were your surprises? Any surprise by anything this weekend? Players?
Shout out to Romy Maxey, Yu Zhang, Amy Bloomresen. They did a great job. And you're right, David. None of us had them in the top 3. I will say that I kind of thought it was a real geographic team in their selection. But this just goes to show you that if you pick players that are in a similar region, maybe there's already that connectivity in the team. And I will say, Michael, it's really early. Indy didn't even get in the top 2 of the regular season. And this is a marathon. I will say that multiple times. And what you see now it's not what you're going to see in weekend 5.
I agree with that. So with that, give me a shout out, a team that didn't do as well this weekend, but a team to watch out for that's going to surprise. A team that maybe had an off week, but look at Jen saying, okay, calling out Austin. I believe it. Austin did really well last year. They're competitors. They're a tough team. So I would say Austin would be one to not discount for sure.
And certainly our
and you were missing, by the way, they were missing Connie Burnett, right, this weekend, who's a top player. So she's going to add to the team. So
that's what I was going to say.
And John Sperling, yeah.
Sperling.
John Sperling.
I mean, our thoughts are with Sperling and getting it healthy. I talked to him. He obviously went in an ambulance and got the muscle relaxers, and he's doing better now. But I do think, look, Oklahoma City without Beth is a different team. We all know that. She's the best of the best. So when she gets back, what they do in the regular season in the next couple of event weekends versus having Beth, let's say in weekend 5 or 6, the championship weekend, is going to be a very different team. And they're really good. I mean, look, we barely beat them 7-5 the last match, but they've got a lot of great players. So
I will second that. Someone like Tommy Ho, who's like, you may not know his name, but he's a tremendous player and only getting better with all the experience. I had the opportunity to get my butt kicked by him, and I was very impressed with OKC as well.
So is that who you is saying is watch out for OKC?
Yeah, watch out for OKC. Watch out for Indy. I mean, you saw just what one person made in one day, right? Like the difference between playing Rick with his partner on Saturday and playing with Mills. I thought that was the match of the tournament when they played Chris Heddings and John on center court there. I mean, I watched that whole match. I didn't even watch any of our match. Don't tell Julie and Daryl, because it was just such a high quality match.
Yeah, no, they don't listen to our podcast, right? So they won't know that you said that. But David, I commentated on your match, right? And you had an excellent match against Murcha and Tao, you and Saad. I think Duper had predicted you guys were heavy underdogs, and you played them very close. I think you guys got off to a slow start, but then you and Saad had an incredible game. You took him to the third set, lost 11-9, but even the second set, there was some adversity. You guys won. I think you played great. If you listen to the podcast, the YouTube, when I was announcing it, I thought you did better than I would have expected, other than your ATP. Tell me about your ATP. That was an easy ATP that you hit into the post. How did that go?
I mean, are those compliments, backhanded compliments, insults? You said like 6 things there.
Straight insult, because it was an easy one and you missed it.
I don't even know what to say. Yes, I missed some easy shots. All right, what do you want? All right, you told me 14 times that Duper gave us a 9% chance to win. All right, even after we split, like the first game, we came back the second game, and you're like, well, you obviously have no chance. Duper, even objectively, only gave you a 9% chance. Yes, I heard half your commentary because I was right there. Yes, I missed an easy ATP. Yes, we lost. Thanks a lot, Michael.
But you came close, is what I'm saying. I believe in you, David, because you're our spiritual leader. And by the way, you did better than I did this weekend. So, I'm going to listen to your tips. And as much as I say you missed your ATP, you're one of the best resetters in the game, in my view. So
listen, to compliment David even more in playing him in both men's and mixed, I just really appreciate the level of class that he exudes as an opponent, because he knew I was in a really tough situation. And I could tell he felt for me in that situation. And there was the end of our first game, we all knew something was amiss, and we were at 10-9. And I had told my partner, hey, if we get this side out, we can go on a run at 10-9 to win this game. And somehow we all kind of let them serve 3 times. We went back and looked at the video, and they served 3 times. And that was our fault, ref's fault, everybody's fault, whatever. It happened the way it happened. But I don't mind losing in a situation in a close 3-game contest with David because of his class. So I just want to thank you for really classy player. I appreciate it.
Yeah, all kidding aside, he's a great leader for us at Kansas City. I think we're going to I'm excited about the season ahead, partially because we have a fun time in Kansas City, and having a leader like David and Jen Dawson, right? Hall of Famer. Like, you can't get better than that. The two of them leading that team. But, let's talk some more. But I want to bring on our special guest we have, Like, the 4 of us can talk all day long. But I want to hear a perspective from a new team owner who's not only a new team owner, he's the general manager. He's a player on the team. And also his team post, he's probably one of the guys with great marketing, because I walk into our hotel and the first thing I see is the poster of the Columbus Hot Shot. So Without further ado, let me welcome in team owner, Jeff McKnight. And congratulations, Jeff,
Let's go.
for going 4-0 in the first weekend, tied with the Houston Hammers, and
All right,
splitting the
beat
grand
us.
prize of $10,000. Welcome, Jeff.
All right. Thanks a lot for having me. I enjoy the podcast and I'm happy to be a guest on.
So, what are your thoughts? Tell me, like, going in, did you think you were going to be 4-0? What were your thoughts, going into the weekend?
Well, I thought that we would have a good weekend. Our team, that was the first time our team had gotten together, was the Friday team practice. We had some people flying in late Thursday night. So when we got together, I had high expectations leading into the weekend. But after our first team practice on Friday, I even told the team, we had a little lunch afterwards, that, I was excited about the team beforehand, but I was thrilled and excited after that, the way they came together and gelled and worked together in different rotations, what I had in mind, and everyone seemed to be enjoying themselves. So I had high expectations, certainly not 4-0, exceeded my expectations. Our team play exceeded my expectations, myself and my dad is the co-owner. So yeah, we had a great time. It was we knew we'd have fun with the weekend. Everything we've done with NPL so far has been fun, but the play of our team definitely exceeded our expectations.
Hey, Jeff, I want to ask you one or two important questions about your team. Number one, first of all, is I know you are an incredible analytical guy that did your homework before the draft. I know that. And you also know the players and the potential chemistry that they could bring. So kudos to you. We obviously gave you a lot of love in our predictions. But, I really enjoy Chris Headings. He's quickly becoming one of my best friends on the pro circuit. And, obviously we had a pretty epic match against Headings and Hedberg. And, I was really proud our Indy team went 5-7 against the top team. We obviously got Mills back on Sunday, and that changes the dynamic of our team. But my question to you is, and I played my really good friend, Indy driver, Natalie Bagby, in mixed, which was really slightly uncomfortable because there's so much love there too. Plus, my next tournament, I'm playing mixed with her.
I'm still waiting for the question, Rick.
The question is, are Natalie and Chris your leaders, and how much leadership did you see from those top two players?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been involved in family business. My father and I, for since I've been working for the past 30 years or so. So we believe that good organizations lead from the top. So with the Columbus Hot Shots, it starts at the top. And the top for the Hot Shots is my father, co-owner, Paul McKnight. So, he surrounded all the events, and I think our team really fed off of his knowledge and excitement of this new path in both of our my working career still, and he's retired, but as you guys all know, loves the NPL and loves being a part of the league. So I think he brings a lot to it. And then just today we announced to the team that Chris Headings and Natalie Bagby are our team captains. So
Wow.
They certainly, I didn't know them. I didn't know them ahead of time. I spoke with Natalie, both of them on the phone some, but they're West people, and I'm in the heart of it all, Columbus, Ohio. So we hadn't met yet, and I didn't know really what to expect. And again, with everything else on our team, they exceeded my expectations. They both bought. I knew Natalie was a great player from the U.S. Open. I knew Chris Headings, but I mean, after this week, I think Chris Headings is the best player in the league until someone shows me otherwise.
Well, Rick's going to that'll be interesting. Let's go.
Yeah.
Gauntlet thrown.
There's going to be tough matches, especially on the pod one, but there's going to be some battles, but I think he's there. I think he's going to be a top player in the league for a long, long time. Natalie Bagby, with her line one partner, Chris Anderson, they went undefeated for the weekend in gender doubles. We have a really strong team from top to bottom. We had Beth Olivier went 6-0 for the weekend.
Wow.
We had Natalie, Chris Anderson, Laura Thornton went 7-1 for the weekend. I don't have all the stats here, but
Laura Thornton, just stop one second. Laura Thornton had an incredible record last year in the NPL. She won the combine last year. She was under the radar, and she's low profile. And then all of a sudden, I think her record was like over 700% wins last year, something like that. Wasn't it true? Like, didn't she mention that to you?
Yeah, she did, because she's a Columbus woman, and that's how I found out about the NPL, because I knew that there was a woman from Columbus playing in a pro league, and I just knew of her a little bit, and we hadn't played much together up here until recently, before we were awarded a franchise in the NPL. So that's how I knew about the league and got excited about the league. But yeah, she did great last year, and we're thrilled that she's a Columbus hotshot this year.
No, that's great. Give me someone in pod 3, because that's where I belong and I play. So I care about the pod 3 players.
Yeah.
Give me a secret pod 3 players that could become a pod 2 player, or like could be a dominant pod 3 players. I'd love to hear the stories about
Don't
pod
do it,
3
Jeff.
stars.
Yeah, well, I think we're solid all the way through.
Good answer.
And we're mixing some rotations around based on people getting the rest and everyone getting their play in. But primarily the pod 3, I think we're rock solid on the men's side with Adam Painter. Jim Bronson won the combine.
Very steady.
And then, I'm kind of the wild card down there in pod 3. Sometimes those guys have to, rein me in a little bit. I get a little hyper and try a few too many highlight shots, and those guys are more rock steady and are solid. And then on the women's side, we have Eva Aguirre, Renee Chang, and Beth Olivier. All 3 of those women were in the winners pod in Texas, and to me that was the best pod of women I'd seen. And I thought if we can end up with a few of those on our team, they were all fighters, they all are scrappy, and they all have a smile on their face. And so they not all of them did the same, of course, in the combine and that last pod. Some had better records than others, but they all fought hard, and they all had great attitude. So I knew everyone that ended up a hot shot is deliberately, and no one ended up on our team by accident. So we had specific places. Now, we certainly expected some people to already be drafted when their time came, and so we were thrilled that they were available when the draft came. But if you recall from the draft, I didn't spend a lot of time when it was our turn to pick. I had people kind of in mind for positions, and the people that fell to us, we were thrilled they fell to us, and the hidden gems that we had.
Hey,
thank you. We'll
I think David had a question. David?
Oh, sorry, Dave.
Well, I just wanted to mention for the 5th or 6th time that I did pick you guys to win.
You already said that.
Thank you.
And the reason I did was because of that depth that Michael and you have been talking about. Because when I looked at your roster, and I don't know who the worst person is. Well, actually, you tell us. Who's the worst person on your team?
No.
Is it Adam? Is it
That's
you?
an easy one.
Is it
That's
Bronson?
An easy one. Oh yeah, it's me. I went 4-2 for the weekend, but that was all my partners. I played with Jim and Adam and Beth, and they like I said, they're all professional pickleball players, and they know how to play. Beth's got a great tennis background. She's got an incredible two-handed backhand that's wicked. And we went 3-0. I went 2-1 on the genders doubles. So yeah, I'm happy to say that's what I was like when I played basketball. If I was your fourth or fifth best person out there, we had a pretty good basketball team. If I'm your top player, we don't.
You didn't mention one person that I have a fond liking for, Rich Lively. He played on my team in Boca last year. We call him the hitchhiker, and he's a funny guy in social media. He's a great team player. He's a pastor. What do you think about Rich Lively? And you have the tallest team, but Rich Lively must have added to your team as well.
Oh, absolutely. And again, he's one of those deliberate picks that we had. And the funny story is, Michael, you were there. I had heard of Rich Lively's name. I'd seen some funny social media posts, but after the Florida Combine, you and I played with Rich Lively down there. I knew he was a great professional pickleball player, but what stood out in my mind is I'm not exactly sure why Rich was there other than to be involved in the league, helping out with the Combine. But I noticed him walking around when everyone had left. He was walking around cleaning up and picking up pickleballs and getting things together. So to me, that's what stood out in my mind, saying that if you're doing the right thing when no one's watching and helping out when no one's asking you to, that's the type of people we want on the team. So I know he'll be invaluable teaching the people like myself who don't have the experience that he does. And so, yeah, Rich, we're thrilled to have Rich on the team. He's going to be a huge help to Shay Coker, who's on our team, another Florida Combine winner. They're going to play a lot together. Shay's going to have, I think in a few years, Shay's going to be one of the top players in the league. He's got all the tools. He played Division I tennis. He can hit the ball as hard as anyone and is extremely athletic. So those two are going to play a lot together and figure it out. They played great this weekend, and so we're excited to have them all on board.
I just want to say that all year last year, Rich Lively and I have a little competition, and that was the first time, my very first match of the whole league, my first mixed match was against Rich. We had a little serve off. You ask him.
Rich has the second best serve in the league. Rich has the second best serve in the league.
Yes.
Rich
is a really good,
a bone crusher.
Rich is a really good friend. Well, thank you, Michael. You think I can talk, Michael? That's so nice of you. Let's put the mute button on Michael for a little bit. So Jeff, I love Rich. What he's done for our league and volunteerism was unbelievable. You know, when I called you and Beth and I were kind of vetting you and interviewing you and your dad to be a potential owner, that whole family feel, that love of son and father was palpable. And that was such a neat thing that we wanted to bring to the league. And obviously your dad's wife was there too. And, you know, I just wanted to say that I believe that even if you guys didn't go 4-0, even if you went 0-4 or 1-3, 2-2, you guys would still enjoy the NPL. And when you think about the union of you and your dad and potential, we've got a number of owners that are interested in buying into the league next year. I just got a message from Michael and Beth and I from a guy from Phoenix that wants to buy a team. Like, would you recommend a possible family connection? And what has this done for your family? Obviously, you had your dad and his wife, and you're there. What do you feel about the NPL as far as a family and ownership connection?
Yeah, family business can be difficult, but again, we work together. We have different businesses, but we're in the same building for a long time. So it's worked out great for us because especially my dad was retired and spent a lot of time in Columbus, but a lot of time in Florida and things like that. So this gives us events that we specifically know we're going to travel to. We're working together, but you know, the NPL, it doesn't feel like work, of course. It's fun. It's drafting players. It's all about pickleball. You can't take anything with pickleball too seriously. So it's all for fun, and it's definitely enhanced our relationship. Yeah, shout out to my dad's wife, Janie. She was there all weekend cheering everyone on, and a big help. She went to the store, bought some extra towels. She filled up water bottles. She kind of jumped in. This was our first experience in an event. So, and I was playing 3 out of the 4 matches. So things get hectic in a hurry, and she jumped in and did what.
So tell us what surprised you. Like, what happened? What happened that exceeded expectations or surprised you, or something that you came in the weekend and all of a sudden you weren't aware it was going to happen?
A couple quick surprises. Again, just how fast our team gelled. I knew we had great players. We have Tammy Steele also playing a lot with Laura Thornton. I hadn't really met her too much before I saw her at the Combine. She did great. John Hedberg, of course, is a great player, but never seen him live playing, so he did great. So how our team gelled was one, but I tell you what was really surprising is I played mostly men's doubles just around town and with people, so I knew that level competition was going to be good. Actually, Rick, beat me up pretty good last weekend at the APP Cincinnati, so I knew what I was dealing with and watching those top guys playing. Rick Witsken beat me up last week at the APP Cincinnati. They smoked Jim Bronson and I pretty good. But what I'm getting at is the women's competition in the NPL. I knew our team was strong, but the women of the NPL from top to bottom were incredible players. Like Linda Thompson, she's from Columbus, but I'd never seen her play before. She's down in Florida now. She played incredible. Moira Roush played incredible. Maggie Camus, who we saw at Florida Combine, we battled against her, and she played her heart out all weekend. And even your co-host there, Bone Crusher, she got a win against the Hot Shots. She played great all weekend. So people, the names I've heard or just seen on the draft list, I was surprised, pleasantly surprised. I mean, thrilled, even though they weren't on our team and they were playing against us, how well Maggie, Linda, Moira played. And Jen, it's great to see high level pickleball our team or not, we're all a big NPL family. So we, of course, want to come out ahead of every match. But in the heat of the competition, to see people playing that high level was the surprising part to me.
Did you guys enjoy watching the dancing that was going on Sunday night? In fact, with your dad's wife, kind of got into the action. Did you guys enjoy that part of the celebration amongst the NPL family?
Absolutely. I mean, I figured that there was some good. Yeah, that was great to see.
There's one thing I like more than pickle. Dancing to 80s rock.
Yeah, you know what? That was what was great is everyone was dancing afterwards, celebrating among teams. You know, Jeff, your team and a couple of players in our team had a after dancing celebration in the hotel room. So what was great about NPL is you battle each other hard for 2 days, right? And then you celebrate each other as a family, and that's what's so exciting. And Jeff, the other thing I just want to say is I remember, right, Rick, you and I, when we were deciding on teams, and we were full of teams this year, and we had to tell Jeff and your dad that you're on the wait list because we are oversubscribed. But we really hit it off, I think, Jeff, and we really wanted you in the league. And by fortunate chance, one team didn't work out, so the open spot came to you. And what was your reaction when I told you that, hey, we actually have a team for you, and Columbus can be our 12th team this year?
Oh, we were thrilled. I mentioned this on the Sleeves Pickleball podcast that we quickly went from, this might be something we're interested in getting involved in with the NPL, but once we met you and Rick and Beth and Paul, that we quickly shifted to, we are going to be disappointed if we weren't awarded a franchise. So we were trying to scrap and claw our way to get a franchise. And for this year, certainly preferably, and I'm thrilled that we have one, or get us tops on the list for next year, because I know the direction the NPL is headed. I believe in the growth of pickleball as a sport. And so we want to be involved. We want to be involved in the NPL however we could, even if it meant waiting a year. But we're thrilled how things came out, and the Hot Shots are off to a 4-0 start.
Hot Shots are hot.
Yeah, well, thank you, Jeff. By the way, our next event, which is coming up in June, will be in Columbus, Ohio, your hometown. So we'll be at Pickle Taps, and we're excited to see that facility. But it will be your hometown that we're going to go visit in the next league match.
That's right, Paddle Taps in Columbus, Ohio, and on Saturday afternoon is the marquee matchup, the Houston Hammers with Sherry Corder, who's from Columbus. She's going to have all of her fans there. They're 4-0 undefeated against the Columbus Hot Shot. So all the Columbus Hot Shot fans will be there. I think Paddle Taps is going to be I think we're going to blow the roof off that place. I think it's going to be an event like it's never happened before in the NPL, especially if both of us win our morning matches. If we head into that matchup 5-0 with the local superstar against the hometown team, I think it'll be very exciting.
No, that's great. By the way, a shout out to our sponsors, right? For the first weekend, we couldn't do it without our sponsors. The first weekend was Incrediwear, weekend, and so they were our title sponsor. So thank you to Incrediwear. We obviously also had the Gamma ball, the Chuck ball. I thought the ball played really well. I didn't hear any issues about the Chuck ball. I think that ball's here to stay. It's a fantastic ball for the pro level. We also had Gearbox, Fat Tire, who provided us some fun drinks on Friday night and Saturday. So thank them, as well as Gearbox. Julian Coffee, right, to wake us up in the morning.
Yeah, we love that.
Right, Ken Julian.
We love our Incrediwear.
Right.
We're in our dance party.
Exactly. The Julian Coffee was able to get us going in the day. And we didn't have the Ernie Ball machine, but they're a sponsor as well, right, Rick? So we had.
And I want to tell you, there's a NPL 25 now for the Gamma Chuck ball. If you want to get 25% off and you're in the NPL, go ahead and use that code, because now they went to 25%. Jen Griffin just mentioned that to me too.
NPL 25, Rick, right? Is that all you have to put in? Anybody can put in NPL 25 and you get 25% off the Gamma ball.
I guess I should share my Incrediwear discount. Guess what my code is?
What's your code? Jennifer 25?
No, come on, Mike. What do you think?
Bone Crusher 25. No, is it Bone Crusher 20? Is it 25? All right, I'm putting it in.
20.
Okay, 20. Bone Crusher 20 and Gamma 25.
I didn't want that code. Tony thinks it's funny. He watches.
Go.
No, he's one of our 68 viewers. He's one of our
Oh,
16 viewers.
I hate to be known as such a good player. It's
No,
so
that's not-
embarrassing to be known as
Oh,
such
whatever,
a great
George.
player who hits the ball hard. I don't want to hear it.
No, because he thinks I hit people.
Well,
I
you
love
do.
incredible. And here's my code. Boom, baby. 30. Boom, baby.
Oh my gosh, we just turned into a commercial. Okay,
I
back
know.
to Jeff. Back to Jeff.
You know what? Jeff is such a nice guy. Paul is such a nice guy. Even their top players are such nice guys that I'm off the Columbus bandwagon. I'm on the Houston bandwagon now. I hope you guys are 5-0. I hope you guys play each other. And I'll be the heel. I'll be the one rooting for Houston against the hometown player. You're too nice, Jeff. Sorry, you're out.
Wow. Hey, listen, I'm a Houston.
Fair weather fan.
My nickname is Hammer Mike. So I'm an honorary Houston Hammers member. But gosh, I love the Columbus team too. So I have to say that, you know, as much as I love the Houston Hammers, I'm adopting the Columbus Hot Shots as well. So I might have to be in the broadcast booth, broadcasting that one on center court.
There's plenty of room on the bandwagon. Whoever wants to hop on board. It's just week one. So.
I need a hat or a shirt, though, in order for me to be on your bandwagon. So
listen, I was going to broadcast. But you can't get George and Chen out of there. Like, he's like, I'm sorry, they want to do it again. And again, it's like you need to, like, you know, take turns.
Well, in any event, I think we should turn this into a regular weekly broadcast. So maybe we'll have more of an update because we got lots to talk about next week about the NPL as we head to week 2. But for now, I would like to say, Jeff, thank you so much. Congratulations on winning the first weekend with the Houston Hammers, going 4-0. And best wishes next week at your hometown in Columbus, Ohio.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome, Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks. See you, Jeff. Tell your dad hi.
And wow, so I think we had an exciting first week, guys. And I can't wait till the next week. But any closing thoughts? Let me go, Jen. Closing thoughts out of the first week. What did you think?
So fun. I'm just so excited. I don't even want to wait a month. I want to roll these NPL events more often. So it's just fun. Everyone, all the new people are so excited. So I was telling, we've done this before, but that new energy is great. And it's just the texts are going already. And I'm excited. It's going to be awesome.
I want to see at least one body bag next week from you, Jen, to live up to your name. All right, 2.
When I play you guys, I know who I'm going to be hitting.
Oh my goodness, David or me?
Look forward to the Friday night party in Columbus. We didn't do that this first event weekend, but we will have a party in Columbus. And by the way, hopefully the Pacers will be playing in the NBA Finals too. Let's go.
Oh, jeez.
Great, thanks, David, Professor.
I think I've said it all. I enjoyed I know it's been kind of a love fest. But I don't know, you can cut this out if you want. But I enjoyed a little bit of the drama. I think it makes it exciting. When there's a little bit of argument on court, when there's a little bit of argument, we have to bring in Stu. When someone, I won't mention who, starts stalling because another person has a plane to catch. All right? When there's an argument over an out ball. I like some of that stuff. It gives it life a little spice.
Well, you just brought up some things people are calling about. What is this about someone missing a flight? So you just raise some controversy, but I guess we'll save it for our next podcast. Next time. Well, until next time, I'd love to say, I'll just give one prediction. I think Princeton, we haven't talked about Princeton. We played against Princeton.
Yeah.
The Princeton Bruisers, watch out for them. I think they're going to have a good team. Vinay, who's a player last year, he's peaking for the playoffs. So as much as I think we got these upstarts that are going to do well, I love our team, Kansas City. I think we'll do better, but I'll say, give a shout out to Princeton Bruisers. I think they might do some. That's my prediction for next weekend.
Yeah, they're solid.
They're going to do well. So with that, I'd like to say thank you, David, the Professor George, Jen, Bone Crusher Gallwas, Rick, Ripskin, Witsken. This is Michael, the Hammer Mike Chen, signing off for Everything in the Kitchen Dink, where we go inside the National Pickleball League. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in to the official podcast of the National Pickleball League. Please stay tuned as we will be back soon with our next episode as we go inside the NPL.